This is so difficult to get through because you're talking about Disney grooming kids. It's hard to get through that and stay between the navigational guidelines. So click the links for Odyssey, Bit Chute, or join channel, support channel, that kind of stuff. So how this started was the libs of TikTok blew it up, but it started before that because it started with the teachers actually introducing BLT concepts to kids in school, and also the stuff that happened health-wise from overseas had a lot of kids at home learning through video learning, so the parents were kind of finally being exposed to, they're watching their kids being taught via tablets, and they're seeing what the teachers are teaching these kids about, BLT and BLM, and it's like this, just basic Bolshevik propaganda, but it's only one side of the equation. You're not learning both sides of these stories. That's what propaganda is. It's only one side of well, there are no other sides. Okay, well, that's the example. You're saying something of someone who's been brainwashed, because there's always two sides to a story. If you think there's only one side, you've been brainwashed. Oh, no. There's two sides to all stories, but not some stories. My professor told me that. Well, your professor's lying to you, and your teacher is just a brainwash. Most teachers are brainwashed idiots. But it's a position of authority. Yeah, most teachers are just parrots. They're just parroting information they've been taught. There's not very little original thinking. And to be fair, if the school boards are controlled by globalists, then there's no original thought allowed. It's just you just parrot this globalist talking point. So what happened was these teachers, who I guess have the self-awareness of a sheep, were posting these videos on TikTok and other forums about how they're brainwashing kids and introducing kids to BLT concepts and all this kind of nonsense. And kids are impressionable. You were a kid, and you probably have kids or maybe grandkids. You know how impressionable kids are. They will say and do anything to please the teacher, to get a little... They learn by emulating behavior. So if you introduce these concepts, they will... There's going to be an overrepresentation of kids who are going to identify that way. It's like, yes, there are organic BLT kids. It's a percentage, a very small percentage. And now all of a sudden you have 40% of kids these days are identified as BLT. Well, no, they don't. They've been brainwashed by insane teachers. Homeschool. That's kind of that's the short-term solution. Kids will just emulate whatever their teacher wants them to emulate. If you got rainbow flags and BLM stickers and BLT stuff, the kids are just going to parrot that information. As long as they don't do anything that can't be undone, which is a problem, because apparently they are doing things to kids that are a permanent one-way type of things. We need to give kids hormones, buddy. No, you should not be giving kids hormones. In fact, you should not be teaching. You should be very, very far away from kids if you think you should be giving kids hormones or putting children under the knife. No, you shouldn't be doing that either. You shouldn't be introducing any of these concepts to kids. So those insane teachers were putting these TikTok videos out there. Hypocrite, Libs of TikTok, and a bunch of other channels started rebroadcasting those videos to a wider audience. And further, if you're the leading tip of any spear, you're going to get the globalist corporate structure in the shape of one Taylor Lorenz, who's a reporter for some company, to dox you and try to destroy your life, because they have a narrative to push. And there are very evil people out there who will do anything it is to have this chilling effect on free speech, to just cause you as much harm as possible, much psychological stress. Go to your house, interview your family. It's like, they're really bad people. But to the narrative's credit, like, people saw how evil Taylor Lorenz and her company was. Anyway, so people started to become aware that teachers are propagandizing and brainwashing kids, impressionable kids. So Florida, DeSantis came out with this no grooming bill, and the left characterized it as a don't say gay bill, but it's like, it doesn't say that in the bill. It's anti-grooming. Just don't introduce adult concepts to kids. That doesn't seem like that's too much to ask, to just not introduce any sexual concepts to kids, because they're kids. That's their parents' job. And really, there's really no solution with these teachers, because the globalist teachers are infested in schools, and they have your kid for 7 hours a day, and the school boards are infested with these people. So the short-term solution really is homeschool, or set up small micro schools to just have schools free of this insane type of propaganda, because the teachers are deep in the schools. Like, they seek out these positions instead of like having kids themselves. They seek out teaching positions so they can propagandize kids, and they openly brag about it on TikTok because they know they're untouchable. So you got to get the kids out of the school. There's no, like, you're not going to fight this battle and win it in the time period that your kids are in school. So that came out, and Disney was put in this position of coming out with a position on it. It's like, Disney's an entertainment company. They should have just stayed in their lane and just, hey, we sell to everyone, left and right. We sell to everyone, and just, you don't need to make a comment on it. Now, Disney has always been a rainbow company. It's a creative company. They've got a lot of creative people in it, and the degeneracy in Disney has been creeping in since the 90s, and people just kind of slowly notice it, and then, like, recently they've just taken off the mask. And there's a lot of major entertainment companies, all the streaming platforms, even stuff like Cartoon Network. You look at the stuff they're pushing, Amazon with Cuties, or Netflix with Cuties, and Amazon and HBO. They've all got this just creepy globalist talking points within them. But you don't need any of those platforms. So it's like the people in America aren't actually this insanely left-wing on board all this BLT stuff, but the people who are controlling the pop culture are, and politics is eventually downstream from pop culture, assuming these companies stay in business. So Disney came out with a position of, we support grooming kids. We were a family-friendly company up until about 10 years ago, and then and then it became obvious. Like, they just kind of got weirder and weirder, and now it's like a full mask off. And their stock is dipping, but they're sitting on so much cash, I guess, from old IPs coming in, that Disney is they're not going to be in trouble for a very long time, if ever, because they have so much money coming in from old properties that kind of before their woke period. And it's like those streaming services and DVDs and Blu-rays or whatever, however they sell that stuff, and like merchandise that's associated with Disney, there's so much money coming in that they can do a lot and still be profitable. But they've taken off the mask. It's like, it was a family-friendly company, and now this isn't family-friendly if your goal is mutilating kids and sterilizing kids. That's kind of the opposite of family-friendly. It's like the peace symbol. The peace symbol, I think it's actually a death symbol, because the person who brought it to the forefront is obviously a globalist. But you turn the peace symbol upside down, that's a symbol of life. So it's, if you sterilize kids, you're killing. It's like you kill the branch, you kill the bud. It's like there's no future generation if you do that to kids, mutilate kids and sterilize kids. It's not just harmless kids exploring themselves when they're young and, I'm gonna cross dress. Like, nah, probably no harm in that. I mean, I guess, but now I want to go to surgery and remove body parts. Oh, well, that's that's a decision that can't be unmade. You want to cross dress, I guess that's probably harmless. So you do it for a couple of weeks and you decide, like, your friends are going to tease you and it's just not going to work out for you. You're going to feel like an idiot. But it's like a phase you go through. I mean, my day, I don't know, our days was, I don't know what phases people went through. Like, the gothic stuff kind of was big in the 80s, I think, and then punk was in the 70s, goth in the 80s, emo maybe in the 90s, and then it's like this stuff just recirculates and recycles. But it's like that stuff can all be undone. It's you can't unsuck a dick, you can't unmutilate yourself. That stuff is all permanent. You can't, once you get something removed, it's gone forever. The surgeries can't give you fertility back if they sterilize you. That's a one-way trip, which is why there's a lot of tragedy involved with this. And so it's like these family-friendly companies have turned into death companies, because you're talking about harming kids. So harming kids is harming the future. I mean, if you want to talk about, I don't want to say the G word for mass deletions on a large scale, but that's kind of what it is. Like, you're destroying hope. So it's like that peace symbol, that Disney symbol, is slowly turned around to where Disney is this, Disney, what is it, you put it in the reflection, it says Wicked or something. It's like, yeah, Disney, all these companies, you look at them like, oh, these are like lizard people or demons or something who are in charge of these things. Like, they really have a different worldview. It's like that peace symbol. It just, you look at it, it's like you're looking at the death symbol and we're turning upside down looking at the life symbol. It's like there's no meeting in the middle between these Amazon, Netflix, Disney type of companies, Cartoon Networks where they show transgender beavers. Oh, yeah, it's a beaver, but you cut her breasts off. Why would you show that to kids? Well, kids need to express themselves. Yeah, I don't think this is a path we want to continue down and stay together with people who do this to kids.